Coach, you have been through a lot of sectional tournament games. What message do you give your football team before they go into a matchup like this on Friday night?
Well, I was thinking about that the other day. How many sectional games that we've actually been involved in, and it's over 30. And I know that I just told them up there. There's a lot of cliches, play every play like it's your last. You don't know, you don't know how much you're going to miss this, and they're true, but they don't mean anything now. It's not until they get into their adult years that they realize that how much it meant to them. So, you just try and give them a little bit of advice. I believe that the speed of the game definitely goes up because everybody's frantically trying to avoid, ending their season. I think teams hit harder, play harder, run faster. I just think it's a different game in the postseason, and if that helps them to be able to, hear the advice of an old dinosaur like me, and then I guess that's good. But it boils down. It really, in the end, pretty much just like in a regular season game. I know that I've said the same stinking thing every time I've talked to you, but it is still execution and still taking care of the ball. So that's the challenge ahead of us, and the fact that it's on the road, that's a challenge as well.
Hey, by the way, how do they look at you when you start saying those cliches? And like you said, you're right. I mean, most of us look back and when we were playing and didn't think much about it then and kind of miss it now. Do they kind of give you that blank stare?
They do. And I told them, I said, when your season ends, you will cry, seniors. And they are like, no, we won't. But they do. And it's inevitable because it's like getting something taken away from you. We spend an awful lot of time out here together, especially if they play for 4 years. And it really does become almost a family, father-son type of a deal for all the coaches and players. But when a senior realizes that that's it, they'll all cry, and we cry too. I mean, we hate to see them. We hate to see things end. And I'm not saying it's going to end tomorrow, but when it does, that's we're going to find.
I do have to admit, I cried like a little baby when it was over. So I understand what you're saying. So.
Yep.
Coach. Let's get down to the X's and O's of this one, outside of the execution and everything you need to do. And as you say, you're on the road, and you and I kind of alluded to this a couple of weeks ago. This is a pretty darn good football team you're playing Friday night.
It's a tough draw. It was a tough draw, tough team. We do know them fairly well because we go to camp with them, and we share a lot of the coaching clinics with them, and Jordan McCaslin actually did a student teaching over here at Northeastern. But they're a highly thought of team, and ironically they're just practically a mirror image of us. We both do the same stuff offensively. They're a little different on the defensive side, but we both are running. I mean, to hear their top 3 plays is to hear our top 3 plays. So there's not going to be any surprises, and that's another reason why I say whoever blocks the best and whoever tackles the best will probably win, because both sides know what's coming.
Yeah. I know it's kind of maybe a silly question. Is there an advantage either way when you know each other that well? And like you said, you're just going to have to go out and you guys are going to have to execute everything and make the fewest mistakes. It's really kind of it, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not. I don't think either one team has an advantage. It's probably more of a disadvantage. But when you've got a defensive group that sees that offense for 9 weeks plus the summer plus any other years that they've played, and now they're seeing it on the other side, it's not something that you would be looking at favorably as an offensive coordinator, but defensively I think it is.
You had mentioned a little bit they do run a little bit different on defense. What do they run different that you guys do?
They run a 3-4. We run a 4-3. It's not tremendously different. They just can they don't have as many guys in the box sometimes as we do, but we've seen about every defense this year that we could see. There's a lot of coaches that try to throw a little junk defense together just to try and stop the wing T. But this week that's their defense. They're going to play it. Same with us. We're going to play it. It kind of is almost a pride thing, see who can do the best.
All right. Last Do you get kind of a feeling now? Do you coaches kind of have a feeling if they're ready to go? Do you guys about as ready as you possibly can be right now?
I think I hate this week. It's fall break, and it's not an excuse, but I just always feel like there's so much distraction out there, and everybody's sleeping in like they wouldn't have, staying up late like they wouldn't have. There's more opportunity to get into trouble if you want to look at it that way, but. Yeah, at this point, honestly, it's just tune-ups. It's not. We're not putting anything new in, and it's just trying to stay healthy and get better at what you do.
Yeah, I know I said last thing, but is there something we can do to eliminate fall break?
No comment. Every coach has to deal with it. A basketball coach has Christmas break. A baseball coach has spring break. So it's just something you got to deal with.
We could lobby to get it taken away. I don't know how good it would work, but it could be at least we could make a stand for it.
I would support you if you could do that. Yeah.